and welcome to the first in our video series. This is Take 10 on Tuesdays with the Tennessee Tribune. I'm Sandra Long-Weaver, and I'm the Editorial Director for the Tennessee Tribune. And our first guest for 2013 in this video series is State Representative Brenda Gilmore. And we want to spend about 10 minutes with Representative Gilmore talking a little bit about what we can expect for 2013. This is Representative Gilmore's third election to the state legislature, and so we wanted to ask her, what do you think will happen this year? This is a super majority for Republicans, the first time it's happened in quite some time. There's 70 Republicans, 28 Democrats, and 1 independent. What do you think you can accomplish?
Okay, thank you. First, I want to say Happy New Year's to you, Sandra.
Thank you.
And this is a quite different Tennessee General Assembly. We have 70 Republicans, 28 Democrats, and 1 independent. However, that 1 independent actually caucuses with the Republicans. So you may just think it's 71 Republicans. So what that simply means is the Democrats will still have to be vocal. They have to stand up for some of the things that are important to them, such as jobs, strengthening the middle class, and improving education. Regarding procedurals, though, we will have very little leverage. The Republicans, because they have a supermajority, will be able to cut off debate anytime that they want to, or they can pass any bill that they want to, even without any Democrat support. So that's exactly what that means. That's exactly what that means. However, I think because we find the Democrats are in the minority this time, that it allows for each one of those 28 of us to be a leader and to stand for what's important in our communities. And I think that the community will be very pleased with how they see Democrats representing the interests and the things that are important to them. Some of the issues that I expect to be on the forefront in this Tennessee General Assembly for the 108th General Assembly are guns. We've seen a lot and heard a lot about guns across the country. I know that there were a number of Republicans that were actually lost their seats last time because they did not support guns on college campuses and guns at employers' location. I expect the Tennessee Rifle Association and Gun Association to bring those issues up again. And we probably will see some form of these type of legislation being approved in Tennessee. Some of the other things that I've heard that some Republicans will be sponsoring is arming teachers in the classroom. And so that will be very controversial because I think most people think that it's fine for us to allow people to have guns, handguns, and rifles for hunting and for protecting themselves, but the very high-powered machine guns and magazine guns, those things probably there's no place for them in everyday life.
You heard that this legislation, someone will probably prepare a bill and try to push this through?
Yes, there's been a Republican legislator who's already said that they will be sponsoring legislation actually allowing teachers to carry being armed, packing, as they say.
Wow. And where do you stand on this whole issue?
Well, I'd probably come on the side of allowing people to carry guns to hunt, to go in any kind of fishing or something like that, and to protect their homes, themselves and their homes. I'm not in favor of the high-powered, how we arm individuals, and they sometimes have even more powerful guns than our police departments. I'm not in favor of that.
Now, how can you fight that if the Republicans all caucus and pull together on that issue?
Well, in the end, the Republicans will have more numbers, but hopefully there will be more, even Republicans who will think that that's not a place, that's not appropriate for Tennessee to arm themselves in that kind of way in our school system. You could have students could, themselves even take the guns away from the teachers I could visualize that happening.
Unfortunately.
I see, I believe that vouchers will be one of the issues that will be in the Tennessee General Assembly, and that will, what that will do is provide scholarships for students to go to either a religious institution or to a private institution. And I think that that's something that's probably controversial as well, and that a number of us will probably challenge that premise. While I think that there's a place for charter schools, vouchers, I still think that we don't have enough information about vouchers to begin siphoning off money, very needed resource dollars from our public schools, and challenge them in this way.
That is a question that I had. Doesn't that hurt the public schools?
Absolutely.
At a time when you're trying to rise up through the rankings, you know, in Tennessee, and you're taking money away from the public schools.
Absolutely. Well, in fact, the last time that this voucher legislation tried to make itself, and by the way, it was approved in the Senate the last time, and it failed in the House. And the last time it tried to maneuver itself through the process, I believe the limit was $6,000. And most private schools and most religious institutions, the tuition is way above $6,000 a year.
Right.
So one of the fears and concerns that I probably would have is still there would be a number of children, particularly poor children, African Americans, and other minority Hispanic children, that would not be able to take advantage of this particular benefit, because they still would not have the monies and the funds to make the difference between the $6,000 and whatever the cost of that tuition would be in the private setting. Charter schools will continue to, I think we will continue to see the proliferation of charter schools. And again, we have simply opened the doors. Before we capped the number of charter schools in Tennessee. Now it's unlimited. And before we had limitations on where it was only children from free and reduced lunches could take a benefit of charter schools. Now, of course, anyone can open a charter school, and those people who are in Tennessee heard the great debate we had between the school. In fact, I think that was the name of it, the great
debaters or
something. Name of that school that wanted to open a school in Nashville, and they wanted to open it in a predominantly affluent area. And there were some members of our school board who felt like that was not appropriate because there wasn't adequate transportation provided. So there have been some legislators who said that now they're going to move this approval authority from local school boards and let the state be responsible for approving charter schools. And certainly I'm not in favor of that, because we've seen that government is most efficient when it's closest to the people. We elect our school boards and we have faith in them, and we'd like to see them make the decision for us, not the Tennessee legislators.
Right.
And in addition to that, it's contradictory, because as Tennessee legislators, we're saying we don't want the federal government meddling into our affairs, and yet we find ourselves meddling into local affairs.
Right. Is there a Tennessee fiscal cliff that we need to be worried about?
I think Tennessee has done very well. Our revenue is way above what was projected. We've done very well. We manage our funds very well. And by law, it's a requirement that we balance our budget. So there's always going to be a Tennessee budget, and there's always going to be balance. So we've done very well in Tennessee. I don't expect it for this clip to have any impact on us. What will have some impact, though, that there has to be some decisions made on the expansion of Medicaid, Medicare. And so my prayer is that the governor and those legislators who feel like that this is not a decision that we need to be involved in, I hope they will not turn those funds away. Because if they do, basically what we will be doing is walking away from probably close to $1 billion, about $700 or $800 million that we could use to spread out to those people in Tennessee who do not have insurance.
Right.
So that's going to be an issue. Pre-K education.
Oh, really?
You'll see probably some legislation involved in that. There's been some legislators who've indicated that they're not convinced that the I guess this is still out of whether pre-K is beneficial and actually helps improve students staying in school longer and doing better. There's been all kinds of studies, and I believe the students who go to pre-K actually have a better chance of graduating and actually do better academically when they go to pre-K. Okay. Everyone is not of that opinion. So I think those are some of the major issues that we'll see that this Tennessee legislature will be addressing.
It sounds like there's a lot of work ahead.
It is. And those issues where we don't think it's the time or we don't have enough information to follow this legislation, then we'll just have to be vocal and speak out about it, and at least inform and educate our community of what the benefits are as well as what the disadvantages are.
And I should have done this a little earlier in our conversation, but I know you represent the 54th district.
I do.
And I wanted to ask you two things. Give me a geographical description of where the 54th is in Davidson County, and also what are the major issues, anything beyond what you've already talked about, that affect the residents of the 54th district?
Well, as you know, every 10 years there's a redistricting, I should say a census count, and then based on those numbers, the lines are redrawn, and of course whoever's in charge, whoever has the majority, those are the ones who draw the new lines, and of course the Republicans are in charge and they drew the new lines. My new district is basically Bordeaux area, which is northwest part of Davidson County. I still have Parkwood, and that's out near the Dickerson Road area, if you're familiar with Nashville. And then my new area that I picked up is parts of East Nashville.
Oh, really?
And Madison, and Rivergate, and Goodlettsville. So I would say that I have been given new constituents moving more toward the northeastern part of Davidson County. So one of my tasks and goals is to get out and to learn my new part of my district. I would say about 50% of my district is new. And,
wow, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, it is, and I'm really looking forward to learning my new constituent. Some of the things that I'm personally interested in and would like to, environment has always been an interest of me, because I think that it has a direct impact on improving the quality of life of our citizens. And historically, we've seen that industrial type activities have always been placed in low income and African American communities. And sometimes those types of activities affect our personal health. So I'm very interested in the environment. I'm very interested in improving health of my constituents and my community. And I'd like to try to move some legislation this year that has to do with looking at some of the products that actually go into women's cosmetics, women's jewelry, and baby bottles, because those things sometimes cause cancer, and we're seeing just a huge increase in cancer in our community and in diabetes. I want to continue to work on things that cause us to move. I want to be a good role model myself, and to try to get my constituents to be as healthy as they can, because when a person is healthy, then they're able to go out and they're able to work and be productive citizens, feel good about themselves. Actually, crime rate actually comes down when you live in a healthy community.
Right.
So I'll be promoting healthy lifestyles as much as I can. And then one of the interests that I've been involved in since I've been in the General Assembly is HIV/AIDS, and what can we do to create more of an awareness about that, and what can we do to decrease the affection rate of particularly African American women, which now that's one of the top causes of death of African American women, which is HIV/AIDS. So those are some of the areas that I personally want to work on.
It sounds like you will be quite busy.
Yes.
And needing the support also of your constituents.
Absolutely.
Is there, do you have plans for, you talked a little bit about you want to especially reach out to your new constituents, but how do you want to go about that?
Well, one of the things that I want to share with you that is exciting is coming up is Brenda Gilmore, who happens to be my daughter, is a Metro Councilwoman, and she applied for a neighborhood grant, and it has to do the issues with this grant that we'll be identifying is going to be obesity and healthy lifestyles, transportation, because we find that often transportation is not paid a lot of attention to in our communities, and that has a direct impact on economic viability and economic improvement. Those are the three issues and I'm a member of the team that she's formed. She formed a team of about 5 people in the Nashville area, and we will be going to Los Angeles, California. She received a grant, and we'll be trained from January the 13th through the 19th, and on how to improve in these 3 or 4 areas. So I'm hoping that when I come back, that I will be able to empower my community where we can be healthier, and we can improve the economic conditions of our people, where they will be entrepreneurs and business owners, and be able to go out and find jobs, secure jobs. We will improve the transportation in our community, and of course the lifestyle. So that's one of the things that's exciting. It's just going to be in a few weeks. I'll be traveling to Los Angeles.
I look forward to hearing what you learn and how you plan to implement some of those ideas. So maybe you'll get a chance to come back and spend another Tuesday with us.
I look forward to that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
for opening our video series with us in 2013.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
And thank you for joining us for Take 10 on Tuesdays with the Tennessee Tribune. And we will see you next Tuesday.